Welcome on back to the news with TK, and evidently the Epstein client list is a hoax. Yep. That's what we're being told by the White House now, or the president. He's referring to it as a hoax. And Democrats seem to be trying to seize on this like they are the bastion of transparency. Unfortunately, they had the White House for 4 years and could have released all of this information with their own Department of Justice, and it never happened. Yet they're seeing the base, or the MAGA base, get a little upset with the president over the Epstein case and the Epstein files. And I don't think the base or others understand where it's at right now. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has come out and said that we should be more transparent and release these files. So has the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. The president agrees with both of those. Unfortunately, the files that are available now really don't show anything. The files that are available that show names and grand jury testimony and things of that nature are currently under seal. They are under grand jury seal by a judge. The only way that those could get released is if the Department of Justice requests it and have a judge make a decision, make an order on whether or not to unseal that grand jury investigation. That's how that works. The president has no ability to make them release it. He can't force them to do it. He could ask Pam Bondi to ask for a hearing and ask for them to release it, but it's up to the judge. And unfortunately, the judges that are currently over the Epstein files, if you want to call them that, or the Epstein case, happen to all be liberally appointed judges in New York that unfortunately wouldn't want to help the president by releasing this information. So guess what happens? The president currently is getting thrown under the bus by it. Is there information that I know the Department of Justice has that they could release? Sure. Is there more things they could be transparent about? Or they could come out and say, hey, look, we knew the files were like this when we came into power. Stuff has been changed. Stuff was deleted. Stuff was thrown away. It wasn't us. It was them. And flip it back on to the Democrats. They could do that. They're not, which is maddening to me. But I digress. Let me show you this clip I saw where the press secretary spoke to the press this morning and tried to address some of these claims.
Fresh from the White House briefing, and it was a packed one. Jackie, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Martha. In the fallout of that statement from the FBI and DOJ that there is no Epstein client list and no more files would be coming out, there's been a lot of backlash from some of the president's most prominent supporters demanding transparency, and in pushing his supporters to stop talking about this case and defending his handling of, or his administration's handling of it, the president has begun referring to the Epstein story as a hoax. So I asked the press secretary what exactly he meant by that. Take a listen.
Can you clarify which part of the Epstein hoax is the hoax part?
The president is referring to the fact that Democrats have now seized on this as if they ever wanted transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, which is an asinine suggestion for any Democrat to make. The Democrats had control of this building, the White House, for 4 years, and they didn't do a dang thing when it came to transparency in regards to Jeffrey Epstein and his heinous crimes.
The press secretary also responded to calls to release more of these files, including from the Senate Majority Leader John Thune and House Speaker Mike Johnson, who both expressed their support for transparency. She said the president is in agreement with those Republican leaders, and he's also in favor of releasing whatever is appropriate if more comes to light. But decisions about grand jury seals are up to a judge.
Those are also questions for the judges who have that information under a seal, and that would have to be requested and a judge would have to approve it. That's out of the president's control. He has said, in agreement with some of the leaders on Capitol Hill, that if the Attorney General and the Department of Justice come across any other credible evidence, they should provide that to the American people.
The press secretary said the president followed through on his promises to the American people. He called on the FBI and DOJ to do an exhaustive review of all of the material related to the Epstein case, and they did that. And at this point, he is not in favor of appointing a special prosecutor to investigate how it was handled. Martha.
So what happens with the Epstein files or the Epstein list or the grand jury sealed documents now? Well, it will all come down to a judge. It will all come down to how far the Trump administration wants to push it to have this grand jury stuff unsealed. I think the pressure that's on the administration now is pretty strong, and it's why I think the president's getting mad and he's starting to call this the Epstein hoax. I don't want to say it's a hoax. It's not a hoax. I believe that there are people's names in there. We know about it because of civil settlements that have gone down in the past, right? So we know that there's people that are involved, and we know that it could be damaging to people that may have been associated with them that maybe really didn't do anything wrong, but you were associated with the guy. Guilt by association, I guess is what they call it, right? But I leave the question to you. How do you feel about the Epstein files? Do you feel like we got enough information? Because I got a separate video I got to talk to you guys later about today, now that they've had forensic people go over the video. Outside of the article from Wired, which did come out, which was pretty damning in itself, that all of the video that the U.S. government has put out to say, here's the full video, here's the raw, unedited video, wasn't the raw, unedited video. It's missing about 3 minutes. Not just the minute that we heard about in the press earlier. It's more than that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.